I call Jami-Lee Ross.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. This House is considering this piece of legislation because it's important that we take security threats seriously and we ensure that the legislation under which agencies like the GCSB operates under is sound and is robust and is fit for purpose. And Mr Speaker, there are some important changes in here that I'd suggest to the House should be supported by the whole Parliament. Mr Speaker, I heard some comments from Mr Robertson and Mr Norman. Mr Robertson spent a lot of time talking about what New Zealanders deserve. I think New Zealanders deserve a Parliament which takes security matters seriously. We live in a changing security environment where threats are increasingly interconnected around the world, and globalisation means New Zealand isn't safe from threats, and we need to have an agency there that's looking after us. Mr Robertson doesn't believe legislation like this, which improves the framework under which the GCSB operates, is important. I think New Zealanders deserve to have changes made to the GCSB Act so that they can have greater confidence in the GCSB, so that they can have a GCSB which has greater oversight by the Inspector General, and an Inspector General who has greater resources to provide that oversight. Mr Speaker, that's what New Zealanders deserve. Mr Speaker, New Zealanders deserve to have a Parliament which takes the review undertaken by Rebecca Kitteridge seriously. Rebecca Kitteridge made some important recommendations and highlighted some difficulties interpreting the GCSB Act. What is the GCSB doing when the difficulties she highlighted were pointed out? The GCSB was simply assisting other agencies carrying out their work. Mr Speaker, Mr Norman talks about the parties of the right trying to clamp down on freedom. In fact, the parties of the right with this legislation are in fact providing greater oversight, greater transparency and a clearer authority for the GCSB to assist other agencies to do important work on behalf of New Zealanders. Mr Speaker, this bill will improve the GCSB and other similar agencies that they interact with, and it should be supported by this Parliament.
The Honourable Phil Goff.
Mr Speaker, I agree with one thing at least, that the member who has resumed his